Okay, I'm back. I had to fix the sound. I had to leave and come back. But good afternoon. I hope you guys are doing good. I want to talk about some of the updates with the story. Some of the updates with this person that shot up the school, Annunciation Catholic School. This was a really big story yesterday, and it's still a big story today. I was shocked when I learned of some of these details of Robin. That's what the name change was. Robin Westman. And this happened August 27th during Mass, I believe. And I think it was like 17 or 18 people that were shot or injured. 2 people killed, 2 kids, children, I guess, 2 children killed. And the details are disturbing. The video manifesto, all the notes left behind. Apparently the videos were scheduled to drop on YouTube. That's how it came out. But the videos were taken down pretty quickly. I'm not talking to you. Oh my God. Sorry, I got this new security thing. I thought I was talking to it. But let's start with this. They just had a press conference. I want to get to the press conference first. And then we'll get to all the other weird, interesting details. So please, if you can hit the like button, subscribe, share the stream out for me, help out with the algorithm.
Right here and let them take it over, and we'll listen in here again. This is Minneapolis police, along with state, federal, local leaders who were talking about the events of yesterday. Here's Chief O'Hara.
Good afternoon. My name is Brian O'Hara, B-R-I-A-N-O''Hara. I am the Minneapolis Police Chief. This has been a very difficult week for our community here in Minneapolis. As we continue to move along this difficult path of healing, I want the community to know that even in the face of evil, the Minneapolis Police Department and all of our law enforcement partners collectively stand together with you. We stand with our families that have been affected by this senseless violence, as well as with the parish community. We will continue to be here for all of you. The men and women of the Minneapolis Police Department who responded yesterday did not hesitate. At 8:27 a.m., 911 began to receive initial calls of shots being fired. By 8:31, a Minneapolis police officer in a regular uniform with no helmet, no SWAT gear, ran into the church and was met by a parishioner who directed him towards where the gunman had been. The parishioner later told me that was the first time that he, the children, and others there had any sense that they might be safe and survive. The members that responded yesterday exemplified the motto that is on the Minneapolis police squad cars: to protect with courage and to serve with compassion. All of our law enforcement partners, first responders, and many children, members of the school staff, and parishioners of Annunciation Catholic Church all showed incredible courage yesterday in the face of unspeakable horror. As the investigation continues, we will continue. As the investigation continues, we will continue working alongside our county, state, and federal law enforcement partners as we continue to be critical as we piece together exactly what happened. At this time, we have identified a total of 20 victims that had injuries resulting from gunfire, including the 8 and 10-year-old who were killed yesterday. 15 of the injured are children between the ages of 6 and 15. 3 of those injured are adults in their 80s. Those who remain hospitalized need all of our support, as we continue to pray for a speedy recovery for all of our victims. During the processing of the scene at Annunciation Church yesterday, 3 shotgun shells were recovered, along with approximately 116 rifle rounds. 1 live round was recovered from a handgun that appears to have malfunctioned as the shooter attempted to use it and became stuck in the chamber. There were 4 search warrants that were executed yesterday. 1 at the church, the others were executed at residences believed to be associated with the shooter. One of those residences was in the city of Minneapolis, a second one was in Richfield, and a third one was in St. Louis Park, which are both bordering municipalities. Additional evidence was recovered as a result of these warrants. Literally hundreds of pieces of evidence have been recovered thus far, which include electronic devices that will be further searched and processed. It now becomes our job collectively with all of law enforcement to process that evidence. And so this investigation will continue, and we will follow all of the evidence to its logical conclusion. I am aware, however, that this may not ultimately provide the answers that our public is looking for.
Another white man mass shooting.
When something terrible happens,
you people
the public
and
expects law
stereotype all of them
enforcement
like you
to
do black
provide
people on
some
her ranch
explanation
thinking face,
for what
or is it
happened.
different now?
But the reality is, this is an unthinkable, completely senseless act. Violence perpetrated against children worshiping at Mass. And no investigation, no evidence will ever be able to make sense of such an unthinkable tragedy. That being said, we will do our best to determine and identify a specific motive. What we have seen so far is this is an individual who, unfortunately, like so many other mass shooters that we have seen in this country too often and around the world, had some deranged fascination with previous mass shootings and very disturbing writings that demonstrate hatred towards many different individuals and different groups of people. And he fantasized about the plans of other mass shooters.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, again, this has become all too common in our society. That being said, we know ultimately the purpose of the shooter's actions was to obtain notoriety for the shooter themselves. That being said, I have only said the name of this shooter once, and I'm asking members of the media to stop saying the shooter's name. That was the whole purpose of why he did this heinous act, to obtain that notoriety for themselves.
Isn't that offensive, though?
As schools in our city are beginning to start this week and next, we are working with all of our law enforcement partners, county sheriffs, state troopers, and surrounding municipalities that are helping the city of Minneapolis as we step up police presence both in and around schools and around all of our houses of worship in the city. Many of our law enforcement partners are also supplementing patrols, and we could not be more grateful. This has truly been a collective effort in partnership with our community. We also must say that we will be forever in debt to all of the doctors, nurses, and paramedics who responded, who are caring for these victims in this incident. I cannot tell you how incredibly grateful we are for all of the love and support that has been pouring in from all around the country, both for the first responders who initially responded, entered that church, and dealt with the unthinkable, and for all of the victims and families that have received that love and support as well. The Minneapolis Police Department and our community have a long road ahead of us to heal, and we need everyone to continuing to show their support after the cameras once again leave this city. I'd like to invite up the Acting United States Attorney for the District of Minnesota, Joe Thompson.
Good afternoon. My name is Joe Thompson. I'm the Acting United States Attorney for the District of Minnesota. Yesterday, Minnesota was attacked. It was an attack, first and foremost, on our children and our families. an attack at a school and in a place of worship. It was also an attack on our city, our state, and our country. The U.S. Attorney's Office, the FBI, ATF, and other federal law enforcement are working with state and local partners to investigate this heinous act. Our investigation is twofold. First, we are seeking to confirm what we believe to be true, which is that the shooter acted alone and that no one else was involved, that the threat died with the shooter yesterday. We believe that to be true, but we'll leave no stone unturned to ensure the safety of our community. Second, we are investigating the motive, why and how this happened. The shooter left behind hundreds of pages of writings that describe the shooter's plan, writings that describe the shooter's mental state, and more than anything, writings that describe the shooter's hate, pure, indiscriminate hate. The shooter expressed hate towards almost every group imaginable. The shooter expressed hate towards black people. The shooter expressed hate towards Mexican people.
Oh, wow.
The shooter expressed hate towards Christian people. The shooter expressed hate towards Jewish people.
Yeah, I did see some of that, and towards Trump too. It's interesting though, because I don't know what this person really identified as. You know, like, hey, everybody. Black, Mexican, whatever. Oh, and to the troll that sent me the $5, thank you. I see you just made your account a month ago. I have some people that are obsessed, especially a particular male, obsessed with me, but thank you for the $5. You're going to have to create another account again and continue to donate and be a member and all that stuff and watch every single video I do and promote me. I appreciate you. But yeah. I don't know, man. I still haven't watched the whole manifesto thing. I had to watch the video. I was tagging it a bunch of times yesterday. This person was clearly disturbed. I have a couple of things to share with you because I think a friend of the shooter spoke. Also, I believe the shooter's mother worked at the school. So that's pretty crazy too.
In short, the shooter appeared to hate
He had My Little Pony?
all of us.
Oh no, not the My Little Pony.
The shooter's heart was full of hate. There appears to be only one group that the shooter didn't hate. One group of people who the shooter admired.
Ooh, white people?
The group were the school shooters and mass murderers that are notorious in this country. The shooter idolized some of the most notorious school shooters and mass murderers in our country's history. I won't name them, just like I won't name the shooter. They don't deserve to have their names remembered. As I said, the shooter left behind hundreds of pages of writings. There is a lot to digest, and we'll know more in the coming days and weeks as we've had an opportunity to go through them. But reading them...
That's interesting. Yeah, even Brian Enton posted... Sorry, let me pause it. Posted an hour ago, Minneapolis shooter. I guess he got this from the press conference that just came out. Left hundreds of pages in writings. He expressed hate towards almost every group imaginable. Black people, Mexican, Christian, Jewish. The shooter appeared to hate all of us, said the acting U.S. attorney. Yeah, this was the thing with the mother. The shooter's mother didn't see signs of its hate-filled lifestyle. What happened? What went wrong? And we're going to get into some of the other statements, too, the shooter left.
This happened. More than anything, the shooter wanted to kill children. Defenseless children.
It's crazy, yeah.
The shooter was obsessed with the idea of killing children. The shooter saw the attack as a way to target our most vulnerable among us while they were at their most vulnerable at school and at church. I won't dignify the shooter's words by repeating them. They are horrific and vile. But in short, the shooter wanted to watch children suffer. Yesterday was a tragedy for the city and our state. My heart goes out to the entire Annunciation community. Their loss is unmanageable. I want the state of Minnesota to know that when a tragedy like this occurs, we all stand together. Federal, state, and local law enforcement work together side by side. The FBI, the ATF, the BCA, Minneapolis Police Department, the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office, the Hennepin County Attorney's Office, including their victim advocates who have been working with the families yesterday and today. The list goes on. This has been a tough summer for Minnesota, but I take heart knowing that we all stand together in confronting this evil. Thank you. I'll turn it back to Chief O'Hara.
Okay.
The FBI Director Kash Patel put out some details today, including that there was a threat against President Trump, that there were some messages such as Israel must fall and free Palestine, and that it is being investigated as a hate crime, and there's evidence of a hate crime. Can you speak to what the FBI Director put out?
Well, I haven't talked to Director Patel, but certainly there's evidence of hate. As I mentioned, the shooter expressed hate towards many groups, including the Jewish community and including President Trump. So obviously, as in most cases where there's a mass shooting at a house of worship or a school, federal law enforcement will work with state and local law enforcement to investigate to make sure what happened. We know what happened and we prosecute as appropriate.
I would just add to that, Matt, that there is no question in this case that this shooter intended to terrorize the children, the school members of the school community, the parishioners were inside of that church. So whatever label we want to put on it is regardless of the fact that it is very clear that this shooter had the intention to terrorize those innocent children. Sorry.
One of the manifestos, I guess, mentions a belief that the shooter was under an FBI investigation. Is anyone able to say whether or not that's true, or whether this person showed up on any watch list or any federal radar at all?
Yeah, we did a check of all of our holdings, the FBI holdings, and he was not in our holdings prior to this incident, so we didn't have anything on him at that time.
Okay. And is there any kind of mental health diagnosis that anyone is aware of?
There is no diagnosis that I'm aware of that I can share. I can tell you we are not aware of any state-ordered mental health commitments for this individual.
Chief, could you talk about, we're hearing some new details come out about the moments inside the church.
Yes.
About the doors being locked.
Yes.
Protecting some of these. Could you talk to us about that?
So the question was about the doors being locked at the church. Annunciation Church had a practice that once Mass began, they locked the doors of the church. This incident occurred shortly after the Mass was beginning. So there's no question that the fact that the doors were locked likely saved additional lives. At the same time, we also know that the shooter intended to barricade and did barricade the doors on the same side of the church where the shooting occurred. So what's particularly heinous and cowardly about this is these children were slaughtered by a shooter who could not see them. He was standing outside of the building, firing through very narrow church windows.
Thank you, whoa. Damn, I was about to... What kind of name do you have? I appreciate the 5. Thank you for the support. So yeah, this guy, or I don't know what, I guess I'll say the shooter. The shooter was shooting through the windows.
What's particularly heinous and cowardly about this is these children were slaughtered by a shooter who could not see them. He was standing outside of the building, firing through very narrow church windows on the level where they would line up with the pews. And even ultimately, when he got to the rear of the church, where there's an entryway that's basically all glass, and fired out the window where a person could walk in, ultimately did not walk in. Yes.
When you say doors were locked, is that from the inside? Or?
And let me show you this real quick too. This person, Libs of TikTok, posted, this person doesn't feel bad for the parents of the children killed in the Minnesota church shooter because they're Christian.
I'm so sick of this, y'all.
Oh my God.
This shouldn't happen. There's no excuse for this. And it seems like school pew-pewing season starts earlier and earlier every year. And we just allow it. I feel terrible for the kids. I feel so bad for not just the victims, but the people who witnessed it and will now have to live with that for the rest of their lives. I don't feel bad for their parents. This happened at a Catholic school. There should have been no children there at all. We know what the church does to kids, so I feel terrible for the kids. May the universe protect them from their Catholic parents and the church. Y'all can shove your thoughts and prayers right where the brightest of the suns don't shine. So far up that black hole of yours that even your God can't see 'em or hear 'em. Because I'm all out of compassion for Christian nationalists.
Ooh.
Fuck y'all.
Wow. You are very angry.
Or from the outside, like you're inside and you can get out, but you can't get in from the outside?
The question is about the doors being locked. Yes, the doors were locked intentionally by the church from the inside, and that's a practice that they had in place once Mass had begun.
I know, yes, that
His social media postings, Trump posts, admiration for previous school shooters. Why was he able to obtain a weapon of that magnitude?
So the question was, due to previous social media posts, why was the individual able to obtain a weapon? We have nothing in the evidence that we have acquired so far that would indicate that he is a person that he did not lawfully purchase these weapons. He did not have a criminal history. The only thing that we are aware of is a traffic ticket. He did not have any state-ordered commitments for mental health. So of everything that we have seen so far, it did not rise to the level where he would have been a person prohibited from purchasing a firearm. Yes,
Can you
Uba.
confirm if the shooter went to the church weeks prior, and if so, how long before the shooting happened?
So Uba's question was if the shooter did go to the church weeks prior. We cannot specifically confirm that at this time, but that is obviously a part of the investigation.
Even though it's all about the connection, his connection to the church and school.
Yep. So the question was the connection of the shooter to the church and school. We do know that the shooter did attend Mass there previously. The shooter did attend school, and the shooter's mother was an employee of the parish previously for some time. So obviously there is a connection between that shooter and this particular parish and this school there.
Chief, what can you tell us about the 20th victim that you mentioned, another victim you mentioned today? How is that child doing?
So there's one additional child that was injured by gunfire that we weren't aware of at the time of the last briefing. They were transported by private vehicle to a hospital outside of the city, and the report was actually made to police after they had been treated and released. So the injuries to the children range from, in this case, I guess you'd call like a graze wound from gunfire, all to, again, some very serious life-threatening injuries. We have some victims that have been released by the hospital at this time. We anticipate perhaps a few more today, but we still have some victims who are very seriously injured and in critical condition.
Even though there's no criminal record,
Sorry.
even though there's no criminal record, have you been able to find any police contacts where there was odd behavior, maybe that didn't rise to the level of a crime, but in any jurisdiction that's come up?
So the question was police contacts with odd behavior. There's nothing in Minneapolis where we did not have previous police contacts with him.
Is there anything more you can say today on the name change issue? I know that yesterday you didn't confirm that, but I know it's out there.
Yes.
Anything more you can reveal just about?
So the question was about the shooter's name change. We are aware that a few years ago, I think 2019, the shooter did have their name changed. We can confirm that, yes.
I know Lieutenant Bassett and the FBI spokesperson talking about it too. Had any law enforcement you found made contact with the shooter's family previously to what happened this year?
I can try. For everybody, I'm Drew Evans, Superintendent of the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension. It depends on specifically what you're asking. We're aware of some reports in the past. We are gathering those reports now. There will be additional information that we'll be able to share down the line. But as the chief noted, and we think what is important in this and related to the question, this individual was not arrested for anything that would prohibit them from being able to purchase a firearm. There is not substantive police contact with this individual that would have raised concern to the level that would lead us to believe this sort of a situation would happen today. The social media, in terms of your question for that, just to be clear, the level set for everybody, there is a specific criteria in terms of how an individual can purchase a firearm legally in Minnesota. If those posts and information, I'll share it for everybody that we want to know going forward, this obviously is a terrible tragedy. We need the help of the public and everybody else. If there's concerning social media behavior by anybody, or that there's concern in their community, that they are contacting their law enforcement so that we can adequately address that in the process. That did not happen in this case.
So
in terms of the evidence found with the search warrants, were you able to recover additional guns, and if so, were those registered and also legally purchased?
So the question was, in regard to the search warrant, were additional weapons recovered? The answer is no. Only the 3 weapons that were recovered at the scene, a 5.56 millimeter rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol, and all 3 were used during this incident.
Chief, any history of gun training? Because the shooter seemed fairly accurate.
We're not aware of, at this time, any history of gun training.
In the evidence that you have recovered, has the shooter expressed any grievance against that particular church?
No, we haven't found any. No. So the question was any specific grievance against the church. We mentioned there is a connection to the parish, a connection to the school, but we have not identified a triggering event or a specific grievance against the church that you could point to say this is the reason for why this happened.
Chief, I just want to clarify something you said. You said that the shooter attended Mass in the weeks before the shooting.
I did not say that. So the question was, did the shooter attend Mass in the weeks before? We know that previously the shooter had attended that parish and had attended that school.
I wonder if was a shooter bullied there. I mean, it seems they were accepting enough for that person to be there, but I don't know. And the mother worked at that school. Wow.
When they were younger.
Is there anything, any evidence that this person was radicalized or part of some online groups or anything like that?
Nothing that we're seeing.
This behavior?
No. So the question was if the individual was radicalized, I guess, for a specific cause or a part of some online groups. And the answer is no, we have not found evidence of that, other than, again, just this fascination in general with many, many different previous mass shootings, mainly in this country, but also some from around the world.
Chief, any evidence to indicate why this particular church, just to kind of follow up on what others asked, why this particular church was chosen as the somewhere else?
So Matt's question is the question, why this particular church? And other than the obvious, which we have said, the connection to being from that church, being from that school, mom having worked there, we have not found a specific trigger for why to target the children at this church.
On that note, though, did the shooter seem aware that there was going to be this mass at this time, that the kids would be there at that time?
So
other than the obvious that they showed up and shot.
Yeah. So the question was, was the shooter aware of this mass at this church? The answer would be yes. This was a daily mass, but this was special in that the children were attending to celebrate the first week of school, the beginning of a new school year.
Chief, are you able to give us an update? I know we heard this from HCMC this morning on the injuries. Who's hospitalized, how many, severity, and you did mention that you expect some of the kids to be released.
So the question was total number of victims who remain hospitalized. I do not have information that would have to come specifically from the individual hospitals. Again, I know that some victims have been released, and I believe HCMC mentioned at their press conference earlier that they anticipate a couple more may be released today. But I know both at HCMC as well as Children's Hospital that there remain patients who are in critical condition.
You've had more than 24 hours to kind of absorb this and kind of process this. Your thoughts on this and kind of where we are?
So the question was, over the last 24 hours, for my thoughts on where we are and moving forward. I think we had dozens of police officers that responded, that entered there. I shared a story that one parishioner had shared with me of the relief they had seeing an officer running in towards the danger. And I know from dozens of officers who did respond that ran into the church and saw the unthinkable with all of these children so seriously injured, and other children that had blood on them, from not because they were injured, but because of blood that was shared from other kids. And just how confusing it was for the officers, because no one knew if there was specifically just one shooter, if there were perhaps improvised devices that were there to go off. So I think the officers that were then joined by state troopers and county sheriff's deputies and all of federal law enforcement officers and others that responded very, very quickly, and I just think did an incredible job at trying to ensure that the threat was eliminated, there were no additional threats, but also trying to triage as quickly as possible and get the injured to the hospital. And I think EMS, all the first responders, did an amazing job. And I think going forward, we're going to learn countless stories about many children and the heroic acts that children there did, as well as staff members and other parishioners. So I know this is, incredibly horrific and just an unthinkable situation, but despite all of that, I think there's going to be countless lessons of bravery from young children all the way up to elders in our community.
All right, we'll take one more, perhaps from somebody who's not yet had a chance.
Chief, have you spoken?
Yeah, have you guys spoken with the shooter's parents, and have they said anything about past mental health history? And do you guys as law enforcement believe there might have been any red flags that might have been missed?
Okay. So the question was, have we spoken to the shooter's parents and if there were any red flags that may have been missed? I know there were dozens of interviews that have been conducted with relatives, friends, associates of the shooter, as well as people, obviously individuals, witnesses that were present at the scene yesterday. I know we have not been successful in talking to the shooter's mother yet at this time, but there continue to be efforts made to get that done.
But you have talked to the father?
I cannot confirm that. I don't know. There's been.
What's up with the dad?
Okay.
Did he live alone, or did he live with his father?
Well, the question was, did he live alone or live with his father? There's 3 residences that are associated with this individual. I can't verify right now which residence he was staying at immediately prior to the shooting, but that's obviously something that will come out with the investigation as it continues.
Just out of curiosity, what was your question?
Can you say how long the shooter attended the school for?
I don't know. Yeah. So the question was, how long did the shooter attend?
There's no high school there. So.
Okay. But I don't know the period of time exactly.
Is there surveillance video available? Not that we want to see it, but that you can review to know like how long he was shooting and how he snuck up.
Yep. So the question was, is there surveillance video? And the answer is yes, there's surveillance video at the church. That's how we know for sure he did not enter and did not fire at all from inside the church.
And do you know how long the shooting took place?
We will know that for sure. The question was, how long did the shooting take place? So the first call to 911 was...
I just mean like the shots being fired for how many seconds or minutes? Yeah.
Yes, we will be able to figure that out. We will be able to pinpoint that.
Do you know
yes.
Thanks so much for your time today. We are quite hot. Thank you, Chief.
Okay.
We've got a lot more yet to get done today. So I appreciate, again, your partnership in helping us get these messages out. Thank you.
In the interest of not
All right, we've been listening to Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara as he gives an update, also hearing from the BCA there and others who are walking us through some more details from yesterday. And just a couple of quick things in case you didn't catch all of it, but the biggest thing here is that the purpose they have determined in all of this, they believe that the shooter was trying to obtain notoriety, and they are calling on everyone, including the media, not to say this person's name, not to say the shooter's name. That was one. And then also another, if you see any concerning social media behavior, they're just imploring everybody from anyone to report that as well, because it doesn't sound like in any.
Okay, so let's move on to the next stuff. There was an interview. I want to play that. Where do I have the interview? Oh, that's something else for later. Where's the interview? Oh, no, that's something else too. Did I lose it? Here, let me pull it up. Hold on. Let me go back on. I think I bookmarked it. Here it is. Okay. Minneapolis mass shooter. Oh, okay, I guess they don't want us to. Used to walk around saying, "Praise Hitler." Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
When you see something, it doesn't leave your mind. When you see something like erratic, it doesn't leave your mind. So he would put up his hand and say, like, praise Hitler.
Some Kanye West stuff. I thought there was a longer. Let me see if I can find it. Longer video. Here it is. Let me just give me 1 second. Let me send this again to myself. This is the video. I wonder too what kind of medications was this person on? You know, what medications? Brown Sugar, thank you so much for the membership. Thank you all for making me feel so welcome here. Thank you. Thank you.
Lindsey Brown live outside the Church of the Annunciation in South Minneapolis tonight. We're earlier today.
Agree. I don't think transitioning is a good thing for, especially like for a younger
year-old and a 10-year-old were shot to death, and also 17 other people were injured. As this investigation continues, the big question is about a motive for this tragedy. And tonight, here's what we've learned about the suspect.
We continue digging for more information on this. Police have identified the suspect as 23-year-old Robin Westman. They say Westman was dressed in all black and was armed with a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol. They say Westman was not known to police and did not have an extensive criminal history. As we've reported, the shooter died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
And 5 Investigates has been all over this all day, and they have been digging into Westman's past, including some disturbing videos he recently posted online.
New tonight, investigative reporter Ryan Ray sat down with a former classmate of Robin Westman and the red flags that she says she saw years ago. Ryan joins us with that conversation.
You guys, Josephina Sanchez says she knew Robin Westman when he was a teen boy with a few friends and some odd obsessions. She says she attended grade school with Robin, who then went by Robert. Looking back, she says she now sees some red flags.
Something I knew was off, but I was a kid. How would I know, like, what to do?
In the 7th grade, Josephina Sanchez says she struck up a friendship with the boy she knew as Robert Westman. But that friendship was short-lived.
When you see something, it doesn't leave your mind. When you see something like erratic, it doesn't leave your mind. So he would put up his hand and say, like, praise Hitler.
That sort of unusual and disturbing behavior was
It's a cool picture there.
Is on full display in a series of videos investigators say Westman's scheduled to post on YouTube around the same time as the attack. The videos show ammo, magazines, and guns with the names
But different shooters
of other mass shooters.
Tomorrow. I'm sorry to my family. But that's it. That's the only people I'm sorry to.
The videos also include this manifesto that investigators are now combing through, looking for clues of a motive. It's addressed to friends and family and says in part, "I'm tired of the pain this world gives out," adding that "I've wanted this for so long. I am not well. I am not right." Where do you think that's coming from?
I think it's actually spiritual battle. I don't think it's this world. It's demonic.
Yeah, some people have said demonic, like the drawings and the stuff in the video. James, thank you for the 10. Says sounds a lot like Sandy Hook school shooting. In both instances, there's no motive. These guys are just bug nuts and full of ignored warning signs. Yeah. I wonder what kind of possible medications. But yeah, I don't know how nobody would be able to notice that, like all this stuff in the house.
Sorry, but it is. And
But this person was 23.
We need Jesus. He needed him.
Sanchez says this video of Robin's journal, written in another language, brought back memories of Westman writing in code, so nobody could understand it.
That was
And supposedly somebody translated that.
kind of triggering. I wish I could have said something sooner, but I was little. How do I know?
All those YouTube videos that were posted have been taken down by...
Yeah, they got taken down. The other thing too, was it this article? Yeah. Let me zoom it in for you guys. Minneapolis school shooter confessed he was tired of being trans. Viz, thank you so much for the 5. I wish I never brainwashed myself. When I saw this part too, I wish I never brainwashed myself. Did they really brainwash themselves? Where did the brainwashing come from? Or were they watching? What, like, was it videos and stuff? Was it society, social media, TikTok, medication, parents? I don't know. Confessed he was tired of being trans and wished he never brainwashed himself. In a twisted handwritten journal he shared on YouTube. Much encrypted in a homespun code of Russian Cyrillic script and English words, Westman groaned about his long hair and his decision to transition. Just cut the shit. There's people that have detransition. There's people that have detransition. There's people that just experienced gender dysphoria. I'm really personally, I'm against it for younger people, kids. I've heard of a lot of people go through gender dysphoria. It's like a phase and it just kind of goes away, or I don't know, they're tomboys or something. Doesn't mean you got to start taking drugs or cut it. I wonder what exactly, how were you brainwashed? That should be studied. I only keep long hair because it is pretty much my last shred of being trans. I'm tired of being trans. I wish I never brainwashed myself. So cut the shit. I don't know. So this is one of the pictures here. Long hair. And I guess I don't know. I guess that's a beard or something. Or a stash. Or I don't know what that is. Goatee. I wonder if did they feel pressure that they had to stay like this? I started, now I gotta just keep writing this out. I can't cut my hair now. There you go. As it would be an embarrassing defeat. And it might be a concerning change of character that could get me reported. It just always gets in my way. I will probably chop it on the day of attack. Wow, man. So I've seen some people post videos detransitioning. It's on YouTube or X, and sharing their experience and trying to kind of encourage others, like if you're going through this, you're not alone type of thing. I guess for this person, that was the answer. for some reason in their head to target the vulnerable children and go back to a church that they themselves went. This person later wrote that he regretted being trans and just wished he were a girl. Oh. I mean, there's stuff they can do for that too, I guess. I guess you can go full throttle, but maybe for some people it's not enough. Yeah, I grew my hair out. I'm putting on a dress and ponytails, whatever. But it's just not what they just want to be a girl. I don't know if this person was on pills. I mean, some people go, get the bottom surgery. I regret being trans. I wish I was a girl. I just know I cannot achieve that body with the technology we have today. I also can't afford it. Well, the technology we have today, some of these trans, man, you can't even tell. The trans are looking better than the woman. But I understand as far as not being able to afford it. None of this stuff still is like, all right, I understand why they went and shot kids. That doesn't make no damn sense to me. The unhinged shooter also expressed feelings of self-loathing. I like feeling sexy and cute, but my face never matches how I feel. I hate my face. Maybe that's why I like furries so much. Oh, that's another thing. And somebody in the chat mentioned My Little Pony. I think there was 2 My Little Pony shooters. I covered a story about somebody obsessed with My Little Pony. There's like this dark element to it for some. I like feeling sexy and cute, but my face never matches how I feel. I hate my face. Maybe that's why I like furries so much. Also, you can cover yourself. You can give yourself a new body and face. I want to be that black face mask on Beyonce's body. Okay. Okay. But 5 years later, he seemed to have shrunk away from his new identity. Scribbling on another page of notebook, I don't want to dress girly all the time, but I guess sometimes I really like it. I know I'm not a woman, but I definitely don't feel like a man. The chilling writings revealed his violent fantasies about killing children, including wanting to be the scary, horrible monster standing over those powerless kids. That's sick. He also glorifies the Sandy Hook massacre, in which 20 school children were killed. Dang, bro. I have no sympathy for this person with all this horrendous stuff, these murders. And before even dying, telling people he's only sorry to his mom and dad. Not sorry for anybody else. Who knows? On medication, antidepressants, social media, TikTok. Mass shootings in 2025. 246 people have died in mass shootings this year as of August 27. So the mother worked there, spent 5 years working as a secretary until she retired in 2021. Shit, that's kind of true though. Kids identifying as cats, birds, Superman. There was one school I saw that they were letting the kids dress as furries, but then I thought the furry kids were harassing the non-furry kids. Like if you're not down with the group, they start harassing them, and people were tired of that shit. Dressing up in school as furry cats and dogs and all this kind of stuff. I wonder if did this person have a therapist, a psychologist, psychiatrist? Some of these psychologists, psychiatrists probably guided them. Yeah, no, this is good. Yeah, transition, take these pills. Amazing how many kids want to transition themselves today. It's like it's the in thing now. And the medical profession keeps pushing it since there's tons of money to be made. I think the medical profession doesn't follow the same ethical standards there as they used to. That's just the thing now. You get to be in, to be special, to be different, to be a cool kid, emo. You know, back in the day it was emo and headbanger or whatever. I guess now it's this. It's always existed, but it's like all of a sudden it seems like it's everywhere. And, you know, honestly, there is plenty of mass shooters not trans, but this is interesting and destructive, disgusting. Oh, I think this was a good article too. By the way, yeah, FBI refuses to call trans school shooter she. I noticed that in the presser. Uh-oh. As they probe medication links to massacre. That's interesting too. Medication links. Is it, let me ask you guys something. Is it dropping people? I feel like the numbers are fluctuating so much. I wonder if my connection is dropping people, but it doesn't tell me there's anything going on. When I'm looking at Streamlabs, it says it's fine, but I notice the numbers are like fluctuating in a weird way that looks like it's kicking people out, but I can't tell. I don't know. Anyway, damn. Kash Patel referred to the shooter as a male subject in a social media post. The shooter was described by neighbors as a normal young person. I never would have noticed, never could tell. Did not seem sketchy, but the shooter admitted in an unaliving note to being severely depressed and having lost all hope. Investigators have not yet spoken to the shooter's mother. I would think I'd be the first person they talk to. Deranged fascination with mass shooters. Fantasize about the plans of other mass shooters. You're good? Everything's good for you guys? Okay. We've been watching, no problems? Okay, cool. Minneapolis shooter had no mental health conditions, investigators say. What the? Investigators found the shooter had the intention to terrorize innocent children. They found evidence of hate and that Westman expressed hatred towards the Jewish community and President Trump. He hated everybody. 116 rounds recovered from the scene. And now they're calling for the ban of weapons.
It shouldn't be hard to ban assault weapons and high-capacity ammunition. At the age of 8, I survived war myself. I never imagined that I'd come to the United States and be in high school, and that there would be a school shooting, and that I myself and my kids to come would practice school drills on how to avoid being gunned down in one of the greatest nations in the world. There is something fundamentally broken. I know that in America we value life. I know that in America we are loving neighbors. I know that in America we are people of faith because these babies that were gunned down were actually kneeling in prayer. But what I do not know is why, uniquely in America, we have the capacity to not change what we know we can.
Gun laws. I think Tim Walz said something too. Everybody, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey calls for a ban on assault rifles.
We need a statewide and a federal ban on assault weapons. We need a statewide and a federal ban on high-capacity magazines.
All right, thanks for the 10.
There is no reason that someone should be able to reel off 30 shots before they even have to reload. We're not talking about your father's hunting rifle here. We're talking about guns that are built to pierce armor and kill people. Why do we have them coming in by the trunk loads onto our streets around the country? And this is not just about Minneapolis, because you can buy an assault rifle in Milwaukee, and that assault rifle is in Minneapolis by noon that very same day.
A big call for ban on assault rifles. RFK Jr. orders probe into killer's potential use of gender-affirming care, which is kind of interesting. The health secretary told Fox and Friends an investigation would be launched to determine whether drugs may have used to transition to a woman played a role in the mass shooting. We're doing those kinds of studies now. We're launching studies into the potential contribution. Some of the SSRI drugs and some other psychiatric drugs might be contributing to violence. RFK Jr. added, referring to the selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. Many of them have black box warnings. The warn of unaliving ideation and homicidal ideation, so we can't exclude those as a culprit, and those are the kind of studies we're doing. I wonder.
Shootings. Well, as for the parents and potential therapists in this case, again, all of that is still currently being investigated by the FBI. I know the Secretary of Health and Human Services this morning said that HHS is investigating perhaps links between some of these drugs and these prescription drugs that some of these minors may be taking and an increase in violence. And obviously we have mental health problems in this country that this administration and Secretary Kennedy
Trump and the First Lady offer prayers for the Minneapolis shooter victims. Deranged Minneapolis shooter as an evil monster. All right. Oh, I haven't seen this. Oh, wait. I'll be able to show this. I don't know what this is. Let me see. Where are they? Okay, this is fine. Mama's calling. Mama's love. Where did it go? Where are they? Where's the shooter? Where's the shooter? No one knows. Oh my gosh. Sure, probably no hormones, we see. Yeah. We gotta go in. Oh my gosh. Where are they? That's video of the evacuations.
The shooter left behind hundreds of pages of writings.
There's something too. There was this, apparently this ABC reporter calls for ABC reporter to be fired over misleading report linking Minneapolis gunman to Trump.
23-year-old Robin Westman was able to leave what police called a video manifesto that they're now going through to try and establish motive. We've also been going through it and can tell you there are crude diagrams of the church. There are also photos of the weapons, and they include all sorts of writings, the names of past mass shooters, criticism of Israel, the name of President Trump. written on the guns. There are also racial slurs, nihilistic statements, all painting.
So the way, I guess there was backlash because they're saying the way he said it is, it's almost as if the shooter was praising Trump, but it actually the shooter was saying kill Trump and all that stuff. And so there was all this backlash to this reporter. Cattersky is his name, Cattersky. Donald Trump Jr. shared an ABC footage to his X profile saying, "What the F is wrong with these people?" Wow. Damn, man, that's crazy, dude. That is crazy, man. We need to get some of these people help. Wow. Hmm. There was a health official report too. I guess that's it. Oh, there was this other thing too. There's like a lot of backlash because of this. I guess it says breaking Allendale United Methodist Church in Florida. Oh, it's in Florida under severe backlash after allowing this gay man Candy Von Sparkle, aka Christopher, to call for worship while expressing his pronouns. Hey man, it's a new day and time. It's a new day and age.
My name is Candy Von Sparkle, a.k.a. Christopher.
Okay, Sparkle.
My pronouns are he, she, and they. Please join me responsibly in a call to worship. Source of life, in the beginning, you made us and called us beloved. When we forget how to love, you remind us to be beloved. When the powers of the world try to oppress us, your name is beloved. When our siblings in faith condemn us, claim us beloved. We are your beloved. So today, sing your praises. Source.
I guess there was a bunch of backlash about that. I don't know when this is from. I was wondering the timestamp. Crazy. All right, I guess that's it for now. Just wanted to tap in and kind of update it because there's so many updates with this story. I should do another quick little scan. Let me see if anything else. Annunciation Church. Poor kids, man. Oh, there's the uncensored version. Parent of 2 daughters at Annunciation Church shares a video of what he got to see. We just saw that. Class photo of some of the victims. This girl here, Sophia Forchas, they're saying she's in ICU. Let me show you guys that. She's in ICU. Let's say some prayers for her. Her mother was a nurse treating the victims when her 12-year-old daughter was shot. Wow. Wow. And that's the thing. These shooters inspire other shooters, I guess. That's why they take the post down from social media, like the whole manifesto stuff. See anything else with this insanity? I think we're caught up. Oh, this little girl here, she describes. Let's see.
What were you most scared of?
I was scared about if I would get hurt. I was worried about like everybody getting like hurt and injured.
Do you want to go back to school?
Well, I do like school, so I kind of do want to go back, but I am a little bit nervous or scared.
What are you nervous about?
Just what happened, and I know it probably wouldn't happen again, but if it did, that's kind of what I'm nervous about, like if it could happen again.
A lot of kids might be scared to go to their school because of what happened at your school. What do you want to tell them?
I'd probably tell them that it's okay to be afraid a little bit, but it's actually kind of rare to what happened, so you don't have to be that worried. And I think you'll do great.
Incredible. How come Russia doesn't have these problems? I don't know. All right, I guess that's it for now. I will be around. I got a bunch of stuff I still got to do around the house. But I will be around, keeping an eye out if anything pops off. All right. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Take care. Bye. Bloop, 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 bloop.